Hung down, hung down, hung down. Run down, run down, run down. That's where I come from. That's where I come from. Hung down, hung down, hung down. Run down, run down, run down. Never put the gun down. Never put the gun down.
Yo, breaking down the lyrics. Yes, you guessed it. You just saw the intro. You already know. Hung down, hung down, hung down. Run down, run down, run down. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. We finna break down the lyrics. I'm gonna break down the video. I'm gonna show you how they both connect. I'm gonna give you a bit of backstory to, I guess, both of those and how they connected and how we got that together. I'm ready to give you people the whole roundabout, all this music, and it starts right now. So the beginning right there. The actor, his name is Jason, old friend of mine. Dude is an insane actor. I was blessed for him to, and actually, I've already told him like I want him to be on all of my videos. I'll hopefully, you know, if I get put up on one day, I'm definitely gonna try and get this guy out of the roots and into the field because he is insanely freaking talented. So he was never supposed to play a cop, number one. He didn't know he was playing a cop until he was playing the cop. And that day we actually went and got the uniform and everything. And actually 11 and Mario went and got the uniform on the way to the location because someone else didn't show up, something like that. I don't know. But yeah, so I turned it around and he ended up being the cop, which was really, really great because I actually wanted a African-American cop just to kind of show that it's not about black versus white in this scenario. It was more about the indecencies and what police officers kind of do, lack of a better word. They do this shit. Some of them, not all of them, you know, and this isn't pointing at every cop. I know some really dope cops. Matter of fact, I'll tell you a quick one. I got pulled over in Mansfield, Texas, and the cop was like, "Yo, are you a music artist?" I was like, "Yeah." How the fuck did you know? And he's like, "Well, I could see a card right there." He's like, "You mind, you know, rapping? Could you rap something for me and my partner?" So at 2:00 in the morning in Mansfield, Texas, I spit a flow for two officers on the side of the road, on a busy road at that. And they were fucking psyched. They were psyched. They were like, "Man, like you're going to be famous one day and we're going to see you and we're going to be like, yo, you remember that's the guy. We pulled that guy over. He rapped for us, you know?" So I can tell you quite a few stories of good police officers. I really can. This song in particular is not about my whole lifelong idea of police officers. This song is about my history of how I was treated and some things that are unfair and things like that. So, boom, boom. Let's jump into it.
Running with a critter any minute, I can line him as I'm illy when I'm trippy with it, fucking with me, ended up to did it, recollect the hit, a really silly cap a nigga. Follow where you're moving the zone, I'm chilling on it till I gotta put a bullet to dome. Okay. Pick a pocket, keep it cock it till I see it while I killing like a nigga, rock a rapping then gone. Part of never digging around, I give it to you like my lady while you sipping the wine. Give it to me, the haters are.
You gotta give us one. That was some good acting. Some people even thought that was a real cop. They was like, "How the hell did you get a real cop?" You know? That was some damn good acting. That's like, he brought it out of me. Dude is really, really, really good. I'm telling you. Let me take this moment to say, Drew is the guy. It's Drew Enterprise. He's the one that is filming this video. And man, I tell you, this guy, I don't know how he does it, but he gets the right shots. He gets it every time. I don't know how he does it. So, yeah, we made up this whole scene on the spot. We practiced it, I think, maybe 3 times. The hardest part was me punching him in the face, getting up and running. And, yeah, like we literally came up with it on the spot when we were all on the site. So that's pretty dope. This scene that you're looking at right now is right next to that scene. We weren't even planning on doing that one. We were not planning on using that location that you're looking at right now when I'm on that huge rock. We didn't think that was going to happen. It was not even in our minds. We ended up meeting the owner of the property, or I think it was his brother. Like, I think it was the brother of the owner, something like that. Whichever case. He ended up being as excited about our video, and he was like, yo, like, I want to be in it, yada yada. And he wanted to, ride his bike around that rock that I was on. And I was like, yo, that's dope. I would love for that to happen. That would be awesome. But he ended up getting caught out. That is an 18-wheeler company that's behind me on this scene. So, yeah, he gave us the okay. But I'll tell you later about something that one of the 18-wheeler gentlemen who was driving the 18-wheeler, I will tell you what he did later on. That's a little bit down the road. So let's go.
Run a nigga the minds. I play with too many gators till you moving around. I keep 4 elite words, never need the swords. I'm key core, recourse, never kick the swords. I beat whore, leap hordes, gotta rip the verse. I keep a doll on my shoulder so you can peep the curse. You about to see priests get cuffed and burst. I can only.
Alright, so the first verse is half of that verse is, I say, catch a nigga riding with a critter any minute. My bad. I'll slow down. I say, they catch a nigga riding with a critter any minute. I can light a match. I'm illy when I'm trippy with it. Fucking with me, adding up to deal it. So that whole first part, I am telling the story in very short and very quick story and very vague, I guess. It went over a lot of people's heads. The first part of that, until I give a pause, I'm talking about a black person. I say, catch a nigga riding with a critter. That means you riding with a roach, as a lot of black people, or a lot of people call it. Dang. Oh, you gotta make it about race, bro. Anyway, so yeah, a roach. You catch me riding with a roach. And a roach is pretty much, some people are like, ew, what? A roach? A roach is just the end of a blunt. When you get so far that you're burning your fingers. And some people soldier up and just finish it, but I'm not one of those people. So, yeah, that's what that was. And then, adding up to Dilly, we connect the hater, Willie City, cap a nigga, fall away and move in the zone. Chilling on the till I gotta put a bullet to dome. And pick a pocket, I say, pick a pocket, keep a Glock and cock it till I see a wallet. Chilling like a Knickerbocker rapper, then gone, right? So that was the end of the hood nigga part, right? That was the end of this person's part. And it was pretty, I guess I feel like that was kind of typical, right? You can understand that. Yeah, somebody who's, stealing, who's thieving, who's doing dirt, keep a Glock and cock it till I see a wallet. Killing like a Knickerbocker rapper. So a Knickerbocker rapper, Knickerbocker, Jesus, is actually a New York rapper. Is literally a rapper in New York. And New York rappers kill the shit, right? Everyone grew up knowing how New York rappers got that grit. They got those extremely difficult punchlines, and the words that they throw in there are sick, right? I'm a big fan. So that's what I meant. And then right after that, I start saying, part of never dicking around. I give it to you like my lady while she's sipping the wine. I run with too many gators to you moving around, things like that. So it's like I'm talking about a police officer who's around a lot of dangerous, animal being human. But yeah, it's about a police officer, and the whole give it to you like my lady was just sipping the wine. I'm saying that you can get fucked real quick, right? So it's just a metaphor. Typically, I don't really see many motherfuckers sipping wine in the hood. I just don't. I ain't never seen it. It could be just me. I don't know. But that's just where I come from. I ain't never seen it. From New Orleans to Texas, I ain't. Typically, stereotypically, people who do, like kind of be sipping fine wine and things like that are people who are more, I guess, they're typically like with career and, living a kind of more of a comfortable life. I feel like that's more of a comfortable thing to do, right? So anyway, I feel like in the hood, they're smoking cigarettes. That's the comfortable thing to do. Or cigars or weed. But we're not talking about weed because I can't post that. All right, let's continue.
Come out at night. When you see the cop lights, you could die. That's where I come from. Never put the gun down. I can only come out at night. When you see the cop lights, you can die. That's where I come from. Never put the gun down. Hung down, hung down, hung down. Run down, run down, run down. That's where I come from. That's where I come from.
Okay, so the chorus. I can never come out at night. When you see the cop lights, you can die. I was doing bad things when I was a kid, as most of us did. Probably not exactly what I was doing though. I was running around with guns and stupid crazy shit, right? So I'm just taking little pieces of my history, of my experiences, and I'm kind of piecing it together in kind of like in a random, but in a way that it creates a story, it creates a dialect or a dialogue, like as a whole, right? It's kind of like me saying kind of like doesn't really fit at all in any sentence if I just said kind of like, but if I put a whole sentence around that, no matter what that sentence is, it's random words, but we put them together and we create what we could see and understand similar to that. So yeah, that's what that is right there. When you see the cop lights, you can die. I feel like that's kind of an obvious one right there, right? Not all cops are bad though, there are some really dope cops out there, but at the same time, no more than they can look at somebody on the street and be like, you're good, you're a piece of shit. We can't either. So that's kind of, where this develops from. I just use what I know. I'm solely talking about one area of the police, and I leave the other one alone because they cool in my book. Like, bet. Mind you, this location right here, 11 and Mario, which Mario is the one back behind me, writing, it seems like he's writing Preach on the Wall back there, but dude he didn't even expect to be in the video, number one. He didn't see that shit coming. But 11 walked into this place. I chose the locations, and we all kind of bid in on the ideas for him. And 11 put in for, as soon as we got there, dude just finds a fucking spray can and starts, like painting the wall, putting graffiti on the stuff and putting little eye candy for people to really catch. And I thought it was a great idea. And we all kind of, pitched in on different ideas around it and everything like that. So this scene right here is more of a free-spirited scene, in my opinion, because that's how I felt. I felt very free-spirited in a room like that, where there's so much going on the walls. There's so much going on as far as the music and everybody that was there. Yeah, man. And by the way, shout out to Tyrell, because he showed up. He's behind the scenes. You don't even know he's there, but I do. Let's continue.
Hung down, hung down, hung down. Run down, run down, run down. Never put the gun down. never put the gun down. From the
He would never tackle me like that in real life.
Popo's nightly, I be hoping that a nigga don't find me. Psyche, run up on the way where I come from. Kill you in the let him take a hike, fight.
That right there, that scene was really, really dope. We worked our tails out to get the right angle for that, where I'm kind of reaching up and I'm like, you know, kind of grabbing at him, desperate for, now I'm in a panic, you know, desperate to protect myself. And yeah, it was trippy how that came about, but we worked like off and on, like different shots, different angles, different ideas. We walked around the area and we thought about, you know, where we could put the camera, where Drew could hold the camera, and how we could get that angle, not necessarily seeing my face, but seeing Jason's face as the police officer just wailing on me. Why would he do that to me, right? Even my own daughter was like, he killed you. I was like, well, I was actually kind of moving at the end there, but whatever. But yeah, it was crazy that it came out the way that it did, because that's really what I was picturing in my head. So the scene that I'm on right now, I had like this much room to move, trippy AF, because I didn't know what the hell I was going to do with that. So yeah, I figured I would just use the grit. I would give the attention to my facial expressions, make it kind of looks like I'm disgusted right there. I don't know, but it was angry faces. It was the anger that I was feeling in that moment, and I had to kind of bring that, because man, I tell you, if you've ever had to, you know, perform in this amount of space for the camera, that shit's difficult. All right, let's keep it going.
Parts of this is in the heart. I leave my peace signs. Revolt is likely. Why do I come out in the dark? No remorse. Recourse seems lost unlikely. I don't know how to police the law. Government off like a conquistador. Giving the law, get a fool a nine.
Okay, so government off like conquistador. It's pretty much like a superiority complex type of thing, you know. Given, you know, the lyrics, they all kind of connect in a way. I'm throwing pride out, I'm throwing injustice out there, and I wanted to really make that known in the second verse. The first verse was kind of like a, if you catch it, you catch it. If you don't, you don't. Whatever. But I had the two stories, just two storylines there, from one point of view to another point of view, and how some people may think. A lot of people don't. Some people do. I'm not a judge. So I'm just an artist. So the second verse was pretty much trying to be more specific about what my point of view is. And me and 11, we went back and forth with the beat for, man, a minute, right? Trying to fit everything the right way. And he wanted to make sure that the instrument side of that was dead on in comparison to what I was doing with the lyrics. And I think we did a really great job with that, honestly. And I think a lot of other people do too. So let's keep it going. Oh, by the way, what the hell, Preach? Come on. You gonna go out like that?
And a nine, he don't need the law. Think of the past or they pass on. Coppers a game with no mask on. I know some people don't like that truth, but I gotta tell you niggas you did. Popo's murdering the black folk.
So this is me pretty much being super honest. I do this a lot. Some people get really frustrated and pissed off at me for being overly honest in my music, and I really don't care, because it's my music. If you don't want me to do that, guess what you can do? Block it out. You ain't gotta listen to it. So yeah, like, you know, that right there is a big part of that right there. You know, I know police. I know my cousin is in the force. Just off the top of my head, he's in the force. There's respect for them, but there is a gang in the police force that people don't talk about, or they're talking about it now. But back in, I think I wrote this in 2019. I wrote this in 2019 when me and 11 met in the oil field in West Texas. And I tell you, I hated the song. After I wrote it, I rehearsed it a few times, and then I was like, this is trash. Honestly, I was like, man, I want to, just tear it up. And he's like, nah, bro. 11 was like, nah, this is it. Like, this is a hit. I can't believe you think this is trash. And I'm like, well, that's because it is, right? So yeah, we went around, and this song was left on the back burner for a year, a little over a year, before we actually recorded it, right? So, and the thing is, when we recorded it, I was in El Paso, Texas. I had spent all night. I was up until I drove out there. I think it was at the time, I think it was like 8 hours, a little over 8 hours to get out there. And I got there, I got to 11's house, kicked it with him, and I sat outside for the whole night rehearsing music until like probably 5-6 o'clock in the morning. I had 3.5, maybe 4 hours of sleep, something like that, before I got up, rehearsed a little bit more, and then we hit the studio. And I put down Hard to Move, and I put down Styles. So if you haven't heard any of those, Hard to Move is on all streaming sites. Styles is not, because 11 put the beats together from popular artists out there at the time, and I just rap different styles, right? So you can find that on my YouTube, by the way. Let me see. So yeah, we had some time left over, and I was like, and 11 was like, yo, preach, you ought to put down Hung Down. And everybody's already hyped from doing the other two songs, so I'm hype as it is, and I'm like, fuck yeah, bro, let's do it. Shit, what you mean? And immediately after that, I realized that I said yes to Hung Down, and I was like, fuck, I don't want to do this fucking song. This is trash. But as soon as I started rapping on it, it was like everything just hit just right, and you look over, from my perspective, you look over and everybody's just fucking hype. Everybody's live about it. And I'm like, yo, like, play that shit back. And I'm hearing it, and I'm like, yo, let's keep this shit going. It was like that. So that's a bit of a backstory. This song would never even come out if it was up to me. This is all because of 11. Just letting you know. Boom. All right, let's keep it going.
Baby gonna see the sun. Black folk kill a motherfucker, but they wanna pull a trigger, never see a son. US Nazi of all. I'm just angry, who hit me? Must be brave just to speak at all. They know my name consequently.
Okay, so there you go. US Nazi of all. I'm just angry, who with me? Must be brave just to speak at all. They know my name consequently. I say that part right there. They know my name consequently because I am in the system. I've done some dirt. You know what I mean? I've gotten held up a while back. So they know who I am. It's not hard to find out. But when you say U.S. Nazi of all, I'm just angry. Who with? So I'm telling you, I might not necessarily truly believe this. I'm just angry. Who with me? Who else is angry? So angry that you would say something, so devastating as to say U.S. and then say Nazis right after it, But what do you do when you're angry? You lash out, you talk about things in a way that you might wish you hadn't. In this case, I wrote this shit down and I rehearsed this shit. So, but it's how I felt in the moment. So I commit to that. So yeah, let's keep it going.
Out at night, when you see the cop lights, you could die. That's where I come from. Never put the gun down. I can only come out at night. When you see the cop lights, you can die. That's where I come from. Never put the gun down. Hung down, hung down, hung down. Run down, run down, run down. That's where I come from. That's where I come from. Hung down, hung down.
So the hung down, hung down, hung down, run down, run down, run down. A lot of people are not gonna really know what that means, or at least you might think you do, but I guess art is perceptive. So, but when I say hung down, hung down, hung down, what was going through my mind was you know, how unfair and how racism is today, and then how it was back then, you know, where they were hanging black people off of trees, off of light poles, off of the corner of your fucking house, you know, they hang you off a shoe if the shoe was big enough, you know. And so that's what was going through my head. Hung down, hung down, hung down. And then when I think of run down, run down, run down, you know, in comparison to that, when I feel like they would run me down just to search or detain me or things like that. And for back then, they would run them down, literally run them down, and then also run them down as far as chasing to lynch or abuse or attack or whatever. So that's what was going through my head when I made that part of the chorus, and I felt like it was so significant that it just naturally came out of me to just have that little repetitive part of this beat right there, or a part of the song right there. Hung down, hung down, hung down, run down, run down, run down. Never put the gun down. Never put the gun down is not saying like necessarily don't put the gun down. It's saying never stop the fight. You know, of course, always protect yourself and whatnot, but also always push forward against things like that. You know, always fight against oppressors and people who aren't there to protect you, who are supposed to be, or even if they're not supposed to be, whoever is out for you in a negative way, in a harmful way, never put the gun down. Never stop your need and your want to resist against that and to fight against that, whichever way that you possibly can, whichever best way fits and whichever best way works. That's how I feel. So let's go.
Hung down, run down, run down, run down. Never put the gun down. Never put the gun down. 11, 11, 11. Come on.
Okay, before I get into this right here, the part where I take my hat off and I throw it. How dare I throw the preach hat like that? Such disrespect. Well, I heard 11 out there, way out, and he was like, you know, you ought to take off the hat and throw it and just rock the, you know, you ought to just rock your dreads, rock the dreads. I heard him while I was performing on that big ass rock right there. And I love the idea, and this all happened during the recording process, like during the filming process, I'm sorry. And I was like, in my head, I'm like, you know, yo, I should fucking do that. That would be dope as shit. And that's exactly what I did. And it was literally like 5 seconds after he said it was when that part jumped on. So let me clarify this verse real quick. Me and 11 spoke about this, and we both decided after a lot of conversation, a lot. I think I might have even written to this verse and I trashed it. I said, dude, I feel like you should do something on this. I told 11, you should do something on this last verse. Put your own little mix to it and let yourself have that, you know? And I felt like it was important for him to do it, you know? Where I even told him, like, I don't want to say anything on this verse. I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do, but I don't want to say anything on this verse. I want you to just do something. He was like, well, I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do, but fuck it, I'll see, I'll try. And he came back and it was like, and then if you can tell, he's even going like, eat, you know what I mean? Like eat, and then he doesn't let the whole 11 come out, and then of course at the end he does. So I loved it. He didn't go too far over the top. He didn't leave you bored. It was just entertaining. It kept you involved. It's a completely turned around different type of beat. When I first heard this beat, this was a reggae beat. I started giving ideas about where I thought the beat could go and to make it a hip hop beat. And then on top of my ideas, 11 put his ideas, and then on top of his ideas, I put my ideas, and we ended up making this beat. Or he ended up making this beat. And man, I don't think I could picture this beat being any other way now. Like, I've completely forgotten what the reggae sound even sounded like at this point. So let me rock these dreads real quick. So when I'm rocking the dreads, if you noticed it, my glasses fell off. Number one, I forgot to take them off. It was not on purpose. Number two, I almost fell off that motherfucking rock. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Number three, the glasses fell perfectly underneath me, like right in front of me on the edge of the rock. Couldn't have planned it that way. I don't know how it happened that way, but it did. But it was perfect because I picked it up at the end when I put them back on. So that was crazy dope. And then 11 comes down on this scene that we're on right now, and and 11, and I'm wore out tired, by the way. We started recording at like 10 a.m. Everyone showed up on time at 10 o'clock. I was surprised. I didn't see that coming. So everyone showed up right on time. And then we head out, and we didn't get done. And we were shooting for about 10 hours. We took a 30-minute break for lunch. Literally just ate and went right back at it. So when I tell you, I was so tired. I was beat. That was the first time since I did boxing training that I put ice on my legs. Yes, the hung down video had me put ice on my legs. It was like that. So, boom, let's keep it going.
I can only come out at night. When you see the cop lights, you could die. That's why.
Can we just give a shout out to Mario for that right there on the last scene? Dude, shout out to you, Mario.
Never put the gun down. I can only come out at night. When you see the cop lights, you can die. That's where I come from. Never put the gun down. Hung down, hung down, hung down. Run down, run down, run down. That's
I'm like, on the hung down part. I'm like, hung down, run down, run down. On the other hand, I did not plan this. I didn't even realize that I did it until I went back and saw the footage after the video was actually made. Like, I didn't even realize it when I saw the footage on the site. I didn't even realize I did that. So that tells you, like, all of my movements on the rock was just performance. It was just my performance. You know, I get into my own mind and I lose myself in a performance. I completely forget where I am. I completely forget what I'm doing. My body just starts to move by itself, and it just works. And Drew just moves right along with me. He never skips a beat. So, yeah. How crazy is that, right? Didn't even know. Boom.
where I come from. That's where I come from. Hung down, hung down, hung down. Run down, run down, run down. Never put the gun down. Never put the gun down.
And the idea for that right there, for the gun being right there, I feel like that was a very powerful moment for it to be taken out of this context that you see here, out of this type of scene, and put him in front of me where I'm actually wearing my performance clothes, because then I felt like it made it more real. I felt like it took it out of a design that we were creating and it put it into kind of like, it pointed it at the person behind the camera. I felt like it made it real for that. But also, I was hyped. I was hyped in the studio. That was not planned on whatsoever. Everybody was hyped in the studio, and at the end, it just came out. It just came out. And then the last one was just like, if I had thought about it, I probably would have fucked it up. Honestly, I probably would have fucked it up. So it was a natural thing. So much of what I do is natural, and this was just one of the most dopest out of all of them, in my opinion. There you go. On that scene just now on the rock, I was putting the glasses back on. I honestly wish we had caught it when I actually picked up the glasses, but you couldn't have done that because I wasn't in character. But this scene right here, I naturally felt like it should have ended that way, and I didn't know which scene he was going to actually end the video with. I leave that up to Drew, and I let him, do what he wants to do there, and because he never lets down. So I felt like I wanted to give him more options, so I made all of my individual scenes in the different places. I made them all with an exit feature type of thing so that he could have all of those available, and little did I know he used all of them. That's my favorite one right there. I mean, not with my body on the screen. I could probably just... That's it. That is Hung Down. Fully explained. There's no more that I could give you about Hung Down. If you want more, what do you want me to tell you, bro?